If you're on YouTube, chances are you've heard about Logan Paul. You know, that guy who filmed a literal dead body he found in Japan and posted it on YouTube with the deceased man in the actual thumbnail? Yeah, I still can't believe that actually happened. But more recently than that, he's been known for throwing hands with an old Floyd Mayweather, and even more recently than that, for being scammed with a fake box of Pokemon cards, which he spent $3.5 million on. I mean, I gotta give it to the guy. He is constantly finding ways to outdo himself. And oh boy, this Pokemon scam is no exception. And I wanted to talk about that today. A million other YouTubers have already talked about how he should have known they were fake and that they had a sketchy past, yada, yada, yada. So I don't have anything new to add, nor do I know anything about Pokemon cards, so I'm not gonna do that. However, I do know a lot about real estate, so I thought it would be interesting to take a look at this from a different perspective and see how much money Logan could have made if, instead of investing in fake Pokemon cards and losing his entire investment, he instead invested the same amount of money into real estate. Let's get into it. What's good, everybody? My name is Parker Gray, and I'm your friendly neighborhood real estate agent. Like I said, today I'm going to show you just how much our friend Logan Paul could have made in real estate with the money he threw away on fake Pokemon cards. But before I do, be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you can get updated when I come out with new informative real estate content. So obviously I cannot guarantee Logan would have made X amount of dollars on a $3.5 million real estate investment, but I can look at some average appreciation figures and median home prices year over year to make a good estimate in this hypothetical scenario. So let's set the stage. The year is 2018, and Logan Paul, fresh off a big payday and a majority draw against KSI, is feeling like a big baller and decides he has $3.5 million he wants to invest. As a prolific real estate investor, Logan Paul, who I imagine is probably wearing a suit, maybe a tie, and some bougie sunglasses, decides he wants to buy some property, presumably in Los Angeles, since that's where he was living at the time. At the end of 2018, the median price of a home in Los Angeles was about $588,000, which is perfect because that means Logan Paul can ball out on exactly 6 houses at this price point for a total investment of $3.5 million, almost on the nose. It would be cool to see how much he could have made if he held those houses for a decade, but extrapolating data that far into the future is just conjecture and anything could happen. Instead, we can realistically look at the most recent data from 3 years into the future, assuming Logan Paul decided to sell these properties and cash out near the end of 2021. From the same data set I referenced earlier, the median home price as of October 2021 in Los Angeles County had skyrocketed all the way up to $848,970, thanks to the massive housing boom during the coronavirus pandemic. And that is a good thing for Mr. Moneybags Logan Paul, because those same 6 properties valued at $3.5 million 3 years ago would now be worth an estimated $5,094,000 in this scenario, meaning Mr. Logan Maverick Paul would be the beneficiary of $1,594,000 of appreciation. Now, assuming Logan, as the savvy real estate icon that he is, hires me, the best agent in the business, who would gladly get my license in a state 35 hours away by car to sell his houses, between real estate commissions, transfer taxes, title insurance, etc., he is probably going to have 8% of that taken off the top, bringing his gross profit down to a still ridiculous $1,466,480. But wait, there's more. You really think Logan, being the real estate mogul he is, wearing Dior shades and all, is going to just buy these houses and let them sit until he decides to sell them 3 years later? Of course not. He's going to rent them out in the meantime. While I don't know exactly what they'd rent for, I went to Zillow and found 3 homes in LA County that are currently listed as rentals that all sold within the last few years near the median price point at the time. So they are more or less comparable to the kind of homes Logan would have purchased. The first property here sold in December 2021 for $843,000, right around that median home price in 2021, and is currently listed for rent at $4,500. The second property sold for $730,000 around the same time and is currently being listed as a rental for $4,400. The third property sold in 2019 for $625,000, which is around the median for that time, and currently is being listed for rent at $3,900. If you average that out, it comes out to about $4,267, but since this is based on current rental rates in 2022, and the average rental rates increase about 5% or so year over year, let's just say that Logan had an average rental income of $4,000 per month per property over the last few years. If you do the math, $4,000 per month for each of Logan's 6 properties equals out to $24,000 a month, which is also $288,000 a year. And Logan has owned these properties for 3 years up to this point, which means he has a gross potential rental income of $864,000 minus any vacancy. Sounds a lot better than crying over packs of G.I. Joe cards and a fake case of $3.5 million Pokemon cards, doesn't it? Sorry, Logan. I'm done being petty. I promise. But anyways, would I be a good agent if I didn't take into account property taxes, utilities, repairs, fees, etc. to find out his net operating income? Of course not. If you're unfamiliar, net operating income is the income a property brings in after accounting for operating expenses, which includes things like property taxes and mortgage payments. So as far as expenses are concerned, so much of that is tentative considering who pays utilities, unanticipated repairs, the vacancy rate, etc. And y'all don't want to see all that math, so I'm just going to estimate that to be around 10% of the gross rent, along with another 10% for a property management company to manage Logan's rentals, because, let's be honest, Logan is way too busy training for hugging contests between retired boxers to have any time to manage his own properties. Ah, shoot. I said I was done being petty, didn't I? I'm sorry. It's just so hard. Anyways, his $864,000 in gross potential income, less his 20% in expenses / vacancy losses, brings Logan down to a net operating income of $691,200. Remember, I said net operating income doesn't account for taxes, mortgage payments, etc. So to determine Logan's gross profit, let's take a look at those things. As far as taxes, I'm going to assume that the houses had an assessed value of around $700,000, which I know is more than what he would have paid for the houses at the time, but I'm going to raise it to account for the up to 2% increase in taxes per year since he bought the property. At this assessed value, he paid approximately $5,000 per year in property taxes, or $15,000 total. As far as a mortgage payment, do you really think Logan Paul, after making at least $1 million from his YouTube boxing debut, not to mention all the endorsements, the YouTube views, and the hundreds of thousands of moms around the world dropping $145 on his Maverick hoodies for their 12-year-olds, is gonna get mortgages on these properties? Please. He paid for these houses with cold hard cash, baby. So with no mortgage payment to account for, just deduct $15,000 from his lofty sum of $691,200, and Mr. Paul is left with a staggering $676,200. Add that gross profit of $676,200 from the leasing of these homes over 3 years to his gross profit on the sale of these homes for $1,466,480, and his overall gross profit comes out to $2,142,680. What he would actually net depends on his tax deferment strategy, depreciation deductions, a potential 1099 exchange, and whatever other nerdy real estate crap that comes into play that I'm just not going to get into in this video. Regardless, even if he nets $1.5 million when it's all said and done, that's a massive return. So Logan, I'm sorry you lost your money. I really am. But maybe next time, you can give your boy a call and we can get you invested in some real estate. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this synopsis, and even though it was off the wall, if I've got to say so myself, and unlike most of my normal content, I still hope you enjoyed and learned something along the way. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button as it helps support my channel, and subscribe as well to support what I've got going on here. If you're in the Southwest Michigan area and need real estate assistance, or you're anywhere in the US for that matter and need a great referral agent in yours, please let me know. If you want to keep up with my world of real estate, follow me over on social media. We have a good time and I'd love to connect with y'all there. And don't forget to check out my other videos. And for now, Parker's signing out, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.